So you want to do group work with your students, but every time you put them in groups, this happens. They're sitting in a group, but are they actually working together? This is a common problem in the young learner classroom because although students may be happy to work in groups, they often don't know how. If we want our learners to be successful at collaborative activities, we need to teach them how. And that's where cooperative learning comes in. Keep watching for 5 cooperative learning strategies you can use in your classroom right away. Hi, my name's Michelle, and on this channel I share tips and activities to help you make your classroom a more learner-centered space. Let's look at those 5 cooperative learning strategies. 1. Think, pair, share. You may have heard of this one as it's really popular in the primary classroom, and with good reason. It's really easy to set up and you don't need anything. How often do you ask a question and the same old students raise their hands to answer? Or they blurt out the answer before the others have even had time to think of it. I've been there. Every day I watch a TV quiz show called Pasapalabra where contestants hear a definition and have to name the word. And they almost always answer before my brain has even had time to register the question. Imagine how frustrating it is for your students when their classmate always gives away the answer before they've had time to think. Think, pair, share gives them this thinking time, and it's especially important if your students' brains have different speeds of processing. So the next time you ask a question, give them time to think first. Depending on the type of question or activity, you could allow them to draw or write their answer first. Then have them share their answer with a partner, and when they're ready, and only when they're ready, invite students to share their answers with the class. Simple. 2. Round robin. Do some of your students find it hard to come up with ideas? Round robin is a great tool for this. In a round robin, students sit around a table and take turns to contribute a single idea. They carry on going round and round until they reach the time limit. It's a good idea to monitor, and when you notice a group is getting stuck for ideas, end the activity there. This activity can also be done in writing, and this is sometimes called a silent round robin. Each student has a piece of paper. They write one idea on their paper and then they pass it to their left. They read what is written and then add another idea, and so on. And the students keep on passing the paper around. I've used this activity a lot to review vocabulary, but you can also use it to provide practice of grammar structures or to think of possible ideas for a story and so on. Afterwards, they look at all the ideas and discuss them together. 3. Numbered heads together. Do you ever find that when students work in groups, one is the dominant one and the others take a back seat? With numbered heads together, all students need to take part because any one of them might be asked to share their learnings. Traditionally, with this strategy, each student is given a number, for example, 1 to 4. You give them a question to discuss or answer, and the group must make sure that all group members are able to answer it. When they're ready, you call out a number and that student from each group responds. Personally, I find numbers a bit impersonal and, to be quite frank, boring. So instead of using numbers, I like to choose vocabulary words for a particular set. So one day I might give each student an animal, another day a fruit, etc. Number 4, mini board showdown. Mini whiteboards are a lifesaver for quieter students who tend to avoid raising their hands to answer out loud. With this activity, students sit in groups, but they write their answers individually on a mini whiteboard and turn it over when they've finished. When the group leader says showdown, they turn over their mini whiteboards and discuss or compare their answers or ideas. They then need to come to a consensus together. This activity is another good one for reviewing language. Now, I'm not too keen on the name or the word showdown though, so maybe you can come up with something better. Share your ideas in the comments below. Number 5, placemats. Another activity with a less than ideal name. It's called placemats because the piece of paper is supposed to look like a placemat. It looks like this. Each group gets one placemat, which is placed in the middle of the table. You write the question in the center space, and then groups are given time to think and write or draw their answers. Each student uses the space that's nearest to them. The placemat is then rotated and students read each other's ideas and put a tick or draw a smiley face next to their favourite ones. This process is repeated twice more until everyone has read and responded to what the other group members have written. After that, they count up the ticks or smileys and write the 3 with the most in the centre section. So these are my 5 cooperative learning strategies. You can use these strategies with any activity. The more practice your students get at working with others, the better they will become at it. For ideas on other ways of encouraging students to work independently, whether in groups or individually, watch this video on learner autonomy. If you like this video and want to hear more about making your classroom learner-centered, like and subscribe now. Happy inquiring!